Hey friends and wine lovers, how are you? Hope you're doing well. Welcome back, and I'm really excited that the weather's starting to warm up out here. This week I want to drop a quick tip on you novices to show you how to best store your wines, which means now we're going to have to go back inside. Ooh. All right, let's go. Okay, so one of the first things that I did when I got into drinking wine was I bought one of those cheapo racks at Home Goods, and I brought it home and put it in my kitchen because that seemed like the right thing to do, right? Food and wine sort of made sense. And that's pretty much how most of us start storing our wine, somewhere in the upstairs living space, be it in the living room, the dining room, or even on top of the refrigerator in the kitchen. And as I began to learn more about wine, as I studied more, I realized that these are probably not the best places to be storing my wine. So now we have to go to the basement. I want to show you something. So in a nutshell, wine is an agricultural food product. It's made of organic plant material, which means it needs to be stored in a stable fashion, the same way you would any produce or perishable food product. So here are some of the main things you want to keep in mind when it comes to storing your wine. First, the temperature needs to be stable, preferably cooler than warmer. If you have a basement, that's going to be best. If you don't, then look for a storage space or a closet that fits the bill. Wherever you do store your wines, the temperature shouldn't fluctuate more than 10 degrees. That wide up and down swing and movement can really mess with a wine. And this is why, if you think about it, storing your wines in your kitchen, probably not a good idea. There's a huge temperature fluctuation there, especially if you're cooking and in the summertime too. The second thing to keep in mind when storing your wines is that vibrations are really bad for wines, especially red wines. Believe it or not, over time, slight vibrations can actually cause the particles in a wine to separate and fall out. So just be sure to keep your wines away from noisy air conditioners, refrigerators, heaters, or any other object that will eventually shake the life out of them. Light is another killer of wine. Even through the bottle, ultraviolet light can damage the organic materials in a wine. And sunlight, of course, is a double whammy because you have ultraviolet light and heat, so you're essentially cooking your wine. And this is why I tend to avoid those wines that you see at the store sitting in the front window in the sunlight. Not a good idea. Wines with corks in them should be stored on their side. So this way the cork always stays moist and remains tightly sealed. Another thing that's important to proper wine storage is humidity. Very important, a little harder to control, but proper humidity keeps your corks from drying out from the outside of the bottle. The ideal number you want to shoot for is 70% humidity, but if you're not too anal about it, a basement or a crawl space will suffice. Wines with screw caps don't need to be stored on their side, but all the prior suggestions I made still apply. You can actually save your rack space by standing these on their end on a shelf or on the floor. And of course, over time as you graduate up, you may want to opt for a nice wine refrigerator with a humidifier. This ensures more control. It lets you store your wines at their serving temperature, so all you need to do is pull them out when you're ready to serve them. And the nicer refrigerators have dual zone settings, so you can do one temperature for your whites and one temperature for your reds. By the way, if you are looking for a nicer refrigerator like this one here, you don't have to pay full price. I got a little secret pro tip for you. Go to the Wine Enthusiast online store, and they have a section there called Scratch and Dent. And it's exactly what it sounds like. They offer models that have little nicks and dings in them, refurbished models, slightly used models at a steep discount. And the best part is that you can actually name your own price, which is what I did for this one back here. Okay, so there are some of the basics on how to properly store your wine. Of course, the sky's the limit as far as your imagination and your budget are concerned, but the essentials are pretty simple and anybody can do them, no matter what their means. Okay, everybody, thanks so much for joining me this week and learning a little something about how to properly store your wines. I hope these videos help you out learning more about wine, spirits, and food. Please share your thoughts and comments with me down below. And of course, if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel. That way you'll know when I make new videos or when I do updates. Take care of yourselves. Don't forget to drink something tasty today. Cheers.